Assalamu alaikum everyone. I shared my thoughts on some aspects of the conflict that occurred recently between Israel and Palestinian issue arranged by medical community. Hope you will get to know some new things. Let's get started.
May 2018. Palestinians and Israelis mark 70 years of conflict in the Middle East. Israelis celebrating the opening of the US Embassy in Jerusalem.
What a glorious day. Remember this moment.
Assalamu alaikum viewers. Welcome to the show Thoughts of Medical Community. This show is showing that the medical community is not out of the world. They are part of our community and they can discuss all the matters, and they are the leading community in the world. Just earlier you watched the current situation in Palestine. Our show topic is today on this topic. Is this the solution? Is this the permanent solution? What the ceasefire, what the United Nations or other country wants? What is the solution actually? Does hashtag really works? All these things will be discussed. Today we have our guest, Mr. Dr. Raihanul Hassan Shishir with us, and we have Dr. Khaliluddin Chaudhary with us, and also we have a representative of medical students, Firdaus Shimul, and MBBS third year students.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome you
Thank you,
all.
Raj.
Thanks for
Assalamualaikum
joining me.
everyone.
Okay, guys, the situation going worst from the 1948. This conflict between Israel and Palestine going worst and worst. What was the history behind this? Who are liable for this situation? Britishers or Israel themselves or Palestinians?
Now
Who
I
are
would
now the
I would
victims?
I want to see I want to see Firdaus Shimul in the screen.
Assalamu alaikum, Bhaiya. Thank you for inviting me in
Walaikum
this
salam,
show.
Shimul. It's nice to see you in the screen and sharing same screen. It's pleasure.
Yeah, Bhaiya.
Shimul,
I'm also.
as a medical student, you are now watching the situation in Bangladesh. There are some medical students in Palestine. Obviously, not there. The Palestinian students are outside the world reading their license. But if you were in this kind of situation, now what you would do as a medical student, or how do you think about this situation?
Yeah, actually, at first, not only as a medical student, as a human being, I would like to say this is a horrible situation. This is the biggest conflict between the Israel and Palestinians and ever. So actually, the crisis, we know that the crisis was triggered on 6th May when Palestinians protested in East Jerusalem over an anticipated decision of the Supreme Court of Israel. And on that protestation, they were being attacked by the Israelis, and the protestation was against that the Palestinians family in Sheikh Jarrah. They were just anti-eviction. So that's why the protestation began. And later on, the next day, we know that 7th May, in this year, I mean 2021, 7th May and to the 21st May, there was a huge battle between the Israel and Palestinian, specifically Hamas, I mean Gaza. That was started with the East Palestine and Israel, but the Gaza Strip, I mean Hamas, was just involved into the situation and into the case. And for this, we know that 248 Palestinians were being killed and 12 Israelis were killed. So huge cost, human cost, huge for this battle. And this is the biggest conflict. And history says that because from 2008 to 2021, I mean, there was about 5,700 Palestinians was killed, where only 251 Israeli were killed. So actually, it's a huge cost. And if you ask me, what would I like to do if it was my country, and as a medical student or as a human being, what would I like to do in
Shimul,
this
I will write
situation?
back. I
Yeah.
want to read some questions here from the viewers. Viewers, you can share the video, and you must share it because it's an important issue we're talking about, and the current situation is going worst. What is the solution on this? Is hashtag working? You can comment hashtag, and you can comment about your questions. Some are questioning. I would like to read a question here. Someone is asking that what do you think that Bangladesh diplomacy in the right in is in the right direction about this situation? Okay, Bangladesh is Bangladesh is a sovereign country, and from 1972 they are in a friendship with everybody. They are in a friendship with everybody, but except Israel, because they didn't recognize Israel from 1971 in the during the war. Israel wanted to help us with their arms, and even they already given us the recognition, but our that time our leader Tajuddin Ahmed and all the ministers rejected that. All the government that government rejected that proposal. It was a phenomenal decision, I think. That time, critical situation in Bangladesh, and they did the they took their dignity, and they decided a good decision, I think, as a Muslim country. And after that, in 1972, they again recognized Bangladesh, and they again uh, 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 sent a letter, but the letter was not replied. That's the diplomacy with Israel and us. But in the recent time, just a few days ago, this is an issue that our passport has that one word except Israel to visit their country, but except Israel is withdrawn now. The reason I was thinking, or the all the political leaders said that except Israel, mentioning the name of Israel is a promotion to Israel, is a recognition to Israel. So we're not allowing that. We are not allowing that. That is what's said from the government authorities. But whatever the situation is, people is thinking the other way. People is thinking another way. The government is taking their decisions, but we think that everybody has a right to talk about this. Everybody has right to talk about anything they think uh, wrong. They will talk about this. Um, this is the diplomacy mainly of Bangladesh, but I think almost till now, Bangladesh is on the right direction. Last few days ago, our prime minister said in the parliament that we are always with Palestine. We are always with Palestine. So Bangladeshi people are always with Palestine, and government is always with Palestine. So this is the diplomacy of Bangladesh, I think. Okay, what do you think, Shimul?
As a Bangladeshi, I mean, we understand better than any other country Palestinian because we face that kind of situation. If you looked on 1971, we are being oppressed in that time also, and we are just about to lose our dignity, lose our right, and we fought for that. And that's the same situation is Palestine are facing right now. And what about what you have said, that is Bangladesh in the right direction or not? Actually, I would like to answer this question with a question like in Malaysian passport, there is also exist the except Palestine, except Israel. The two word is also exist in the Malaysian passport, but they are in the 12th ranking state. So how did they overcome? How did they develop? Our country's politicians and our country's leaders, they are saying that except Israel, this word, if this word would be removed, then our passport will be qualityful, like that. But I don't think so, this word, if it was removed, and it would be qualityful. No, qualityful, if you want to be your country qualityful, then there is a huge way to be qualityful. And you can take example as Malaysia. And yeah, I think in some parts, as you said, that our PM criticizes the Israeli dates, and we are also with the Palestinian. And obviously, we have to stay with the Palestinian because our situation was in the 1971 is just similar to the Palestinian, and we have to stay with the truth. If we are a human being, not only as a Muslim, as a human being, we also have to support Palestinian because we know the history, and history says that.
Exactly. Shimul, another commentator has asked a question here. It's a very important question, actually. The recent time, you know, that people are hashtagging their opinions, like save the people, or may Allah bless Palestine. We are with Palestine, or some are also with Israel, but on their point of view. Uh, so but except that, some people are trying to help Palestinian, actually not by hashtagging. They are giving some donations in the Palestinian embassy. Uh, how do you what do you think that how much important the donation for the Palestinians now at this time from the outside world, beyond Palestine?
Yeah, obviously, they need it huge. If it is about the in case of the Gaza, I mean the suffering place in the Palestine right now, then obviously they need our support. Not only the donation, they need our support. They need our recognition. Like all the Muslims countries, like YC is not just responding properly right now, but they actually, for what kind of situation they have created, that is not accepted. YC should take over this situation, but they're not doing the, I mean, right thing. And the Gaza, and they don't, not only they need our donation, they need our support also. And about hashtag, what you have said, mentioned that obviously this is important in this era because this is the modern era. This is the modern era. So we have to pass time, we have to spend time on social media. Either we are hashtagging or not. We spend time in the social media. So if we do hashtag and put some message on that, and put some history and true history, and tagging the hashtag like we stay with the Palestine and some things. So whenever from the another country or any other places, people put and click on the hashtag, they can know if, about the history, true history. So this is the significant. And every movement right now, and in this era is happening, it begin with the social media. So it's important,
Okay,
obviously.
Shimul, you mentioned about OIC. I'm going to Shishi sir again on this point actually. Sir, Shimul said that OIC must help here to the Palestine. We are thinking about we're seeking the help of the international community actually. All the organizations here, the human rights organizations and UNICEF are working there in the field. But what is the role actually? What is the role on this situation of the human
I
rights
would see. I would want to
agencies or
see
international
Shimul in the
community?
screen here. Uh, I was talking about Hamas and Fatah, Shimul. Uh, Hamas was created in 1996. They were created in a question that will we compromise? That means Palestinians. Will the Palestinians compromise with the Israel about in what is said in the Oslo Accord contract in 1993? Oslo Accord contract says that there is a contract between Yasser Arafat and Yitzhak Rabin, that was the president of Israel that time, and later he was assassinated. That time they were nearly to a friendship scale. They were nearly to a friendship situation, and the situation could be solved by taking some areas like area A, area B, and area C were controlled by the both authorities, the Israel and Palestinians. But this situation couldn't go that time because of Hamas. Many people says that extremists were extreme at that time. Extremists killed the Yitzhak Rabin, the president of Israel, after that contract, Oslo Accord contract, and then also Fatah became a weaker organization after Hamas is raised. Then you know that in 2007 there was a battle called Battle of Gaza. So my question is that do you think that Hamas and Fatah should be united, or do you think the solution could make by the Palestinians themselves?
Yeah, actually, obviously, no question on the topic. I mean, no confusion. They must be united if they want a free Palestine
Because
country.
my reason to ask this question is, if the Hamas were united with Fatah, or both were united, they should not call terrorist, or they should not be excused as terrorists, or no one could attack them as an excuse of terrorism.
Actually, at first, they must be united. We know that. And Hamas, actually, why Hamas was formed? At first, PLO was formed in 1964, and later on, when they formed initially, they wanted their land free. I mean PLO, but later on they compromised. They compromised with the Israeli government, and that's why Hamas was formed in 1987. And Hamas wanted their land free. They didn't want to compromise, and even they don't want to compromise right now. So that's why the Palestinians were divided into two parts. We know that West Bank and Gaza is ruled by the Hamas right now, and West Bank is ruled by the PLO. I mean Palestinian Liberation Organization. So that time, I mean, in 2006, election was took place, and Hamas won that election, but PLO didn't hand over the power to the Hamas. That's why Hamas is just right now ruling party of the Gaza Strip. So now Hamas and PLO, they are Palestinians. If they are just quarreling and they are just battling with each other, then how can they make their land free? As you mentioned that in Gaza battle like 2007, And after that, Israel's for the Israelians, it gets easier for them to take control over the more and more lands. They are settling, settlers are settling easily. So they must be united. So that's the thing. If they are getting
Don't
united,
you think?
then
Don't
it
you
will
think
be.
you on that point, Shimul? Don't you think that the Hamas is more liable for this bloody situation?
No, actually, you cannot say this in a word. Like we cannot blame Hamas directly. Why? Because if you think that they are right in their place. Yes, it's true that after they fired rocket, Israel
Because
attacked Gaza, which
one point I wanna remember you that Israel is one of the most powerful military in the world. They have most powerful military in the world, and they have most powerful protection system like Iron Domes. But if they hadn't any Iron Dome, then Hamas would attack, and also there is some innocent people were being killed, could be killed. What do you think about this situation? This
at
is
first
the
we have to
Iron
know.
Dome saving them. This is the Iron Dome saving them. But if there was no Iron Dome, the situation would could be same.
Yeah, actually, it's not only about the protection power or anything else. It's about the affection for the motherland. Actually, they are fighting for the land. What actually they are doing? What's their motive?
No,
We
no, no.
have to know that at first.
My point
Yep.
is when you're saying that they're killing innocent people,
Yes.
Hamas is not. Can you justify them? Can you justify the Hamas that they are not killing innocent people? I think they're also projecting their rocket launcher in different places without any target, and there could be the innocent people also be killed.
Yeah, actually, on this point, I want to give an example. I want to set an example. Again, same example. In 1971, we fought against the Pakistani army, and we are the weaker persons. I mean, we are in weaker side. We didn't have that much arms, and we didn't have that much power to protect Pakistani army, and we were being suffered. We sacrificed more than Pakistani did, but later on, finally, we own because we were right. We were fighting for our land. And what is Hamas doing? Yeah, they, also you can see the stats. How many peoples are killed by the Hamas and how many peoples are killed by the Israelis? So Hamas is right in their place. Yeah, some people are saying why should they fire rocket? So actually, they didn't fire rocket before without any reason. At first, in Al-Aqsa Masjid, before the day in Al-Aqsa Masjid, Israeli army attacked the praying Muslim. When Muslims were praying in the Al-Aqsa Masjid, which is the holiest, third holiest place for the Muslims. So for that reason, Hamas attacked, and before attacking, they warned Israel, but the Israeli government didn't take, didn't respond on that positively. That's why. And yeah, Hamas was for this attack. Gaza was attacked most, and they costed about 240 people. So that's a sad thing. But what Hamas is doing actually, they're protesting and they're doing their best. But yeah, they're not powerful. So we can pray for them, and they should be united with the PLO, and they can have a good result after that.
Now I would like
I
to
got it,
see
Shimul.
I would like to see Shimul here.
Yes, yeah.
Shimul, you were listening the guest talkings that we are discussing about the international community. International community can do anything if they want to solve. Uh, Whenever this is a point of solution here, we come to 3 point here. Either it is one state solution, two state solution, or it is a three-state solution. You know the one state solution, what is the one state solution, and what is the two-state solution, and what is three-state solution. What do you think? Do you think that one state solution is possible, or other solution is is important, or which solution actually important here or possible?
Um, yeah, actually, thank you, Brad. Actually, in this case, one state solution is not possible, I think, because the motive of one state solution is like a secular country. Like there will be Muslims, there will be Jews, there will be Christians, and everyone will live there peacefully. But in sense of Israel and in sense of Palestine, the situation is that now that is not possible, because if there will be a one state solution, then who will govern the country, who will run the country, who will PM of the country? If that would be from the Israelian and that would be from the Palestine, there will be conflict more. And in every sector, weak persons will be deprived. Like there is a huge chance to be deprived for the Palestinians in every sector, like educational, research sector, and each and every sector, job facilities. They will not get that, and they will have protest again, and there will be a conflict. So, in case of one state solution, this is not possible, I think. And in case of three state solution, it is not also possible because you have to involve Jordan and Egypt here also. So this is not possible, and I prefer two-state solution. Though my mind is not saying that because the whole land
You know
is
what
the
could be
owner
the
of
what
the
could be the,
Palestinian.
if you ask anything, if you ask anything, the solution should not come here, because if you go to if you make the Palestine as a separate nation, they they can would they can they run this government with this scattered in colonization of Israel, or can you guarantee that there would not be any massacres with the Israelis and Palestinians?
Actually, what I wanted to say that the whole land is the owner of the Palestine, but right now, considering this situation, two-state solution is preferable because, in sense of two-state solution, like that was divided in the 1948 by the United Nations. So, in this kind of situation, it is preferable. But there is a problem also because, as you mentioned earlier, that settlers are settling their house and their hospitals and in the West Bank. So there is the
And
huge
Shimul, you know that
Israelians.
when the Britishers, when the United Nations solved India-Pakistan issue, the after that there was so much violations, so much violence here in India, and both in Pakistan and Bangladesh also. That was one of the conflicted solution at that time, the two nation solution. uh, we don't want that, but now our show time is almost finished. So now I would like to ask you three questions, as I asked the earlier guest. The one important reason to support Palestine, one important reasons to hashtagging, and or any social media protesting, and one important reason, one important line for Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, one important reason to support Palestine is I always support the truth, and history says that Palestinians are in the right position. They are right. They were expelled from their own land, so I have to support them in sake of humanity. And another one is hashtag. I mentioned it earlier, and I talked about it. Like it's important. It has huge significance in this era to get or people know about the right history. And another one is one line for the Israel is I want to say that stop getting violent. Just think about your past. Where you and where are you right now? The Palestinians let you stay in their country and you are killing them. So be grateful and think about your past. And one important line for the Palestinians: be strong, be united, and just be patient. Inshallah, you will be rewarded soon.
Just be patient. That's the question or the word of the moment, I think. So thanks, Shimul, for joining with medical community. Hope you will come again and again with medical and work with medical community. It's very pleasing with working with you. I personally work with you in my club. I've worked with you in my club, and it's very amazing to work with you. And inshallah, see you next in the next show. Thank you
And
for joining.
yeah, thanks Rashomon Bhai also. It was a great pleasure to join in this show. Thank you. Bye.